Okay, hello. Um, I'm Michael. I am the second mentor, I guess you could say, for the CTF. The topic today is going to be web exploitation. It's going to be a pretty short, hopefully like 20 to 30 minutes, and then you can practice because with CTFs, practice makes perfect. So, uh, okay, so first topic, SQL injection. I'm just gonna cover a few things that I saw when I looked into web exploitation. So SQL stands for structured language, yeah, okay, I'm so done. Structured query language. Um, it's not like a standard language like Python. It almost kind of builds on like Python and like C sharp or like Microsoft. Is it MSS? Something like that. Um, it's a it's a language for data, and so when we're looking at SQL injection, usually there's some form of input. So like this quote here, you see like SQL injection is a vulnerability where the application takes input from a user, but doesn't validate that the user's input doesn't contain additional SQL, and it might be a bit confusing, but if you look, I'll
How long,
explain this first actually. I'll
how long
explain.
do you go for cardio, bro?
Hmm.
Yeah, man.
What?
Oh, okay, trust. Oh, sorry. Hello.
Your mic is unmuted.
Oh, sorry. My bad. My bad.
It's
My
all good.
bad.
Okay. So here we have like input. I'm gonna switch between these two slides. So let's say like when we're looking at like normal expected user input. Let's say you have a website and the website is trying to get your username, and then from your username it's supposed to try to connect depending on what your password is and whether your password's correct, right? So you have your user input as your username, and you might have this code which is like select from users, which is like every single username that's inside the database, and you're trying to connect the input from the user and try to connect it to a previously existing username. So let's say, right, our payload, which is like what you type into the actual prompt, rather than typing something normal like Michael or a username, you type this. Can I highlight this? No, I can't. Oops. Um, Quotation or true with this two dashes, right? Then you see under the brackets. Oh my god, I feel like I'm tripping out. Okay, so between these two brackets, there's two quotation marks. So the way that it'll view it from like a SQL perspective will be that username is empty because it's two brackets ending in like an empty string, right? Or true, and then the two dashes is a way to comment. Like in Python, like the slash is how you comment, but in SQL you use the two dashes. So it kind of looks like select from users, where username is blank or true. So in this case, everything will be equal to true because it's either something or true will always be defined as true. So it will select basically every single user, and so that could break the thing, like break the code, right? So if we go back to here, compared to normal where you get the command and you expect some form of user input, there is a command and the user input is actually this additional SQL or additional commands disguised as a user input, which will make it do certain things that you don't want it to. Like you can crash or stop a server, you can gain information that you're not supposed to gain, or you can like escalate privileges, which are all things you don't want people to do. But I guess for our specific scenario, since we're the hackers, it's the stuff that we want to do. So that's the idea of SQL injection. And there's command injection, which is practically the same thing as SQL injection, but with like commands. So this happens when the application fails to encode user input that goes into a system shell. So for example, we have user input, which instead of like username, let's say it's like a domain name. So we're trying to go to a specific location. And so we have os.system ping plus domain, domain being whatever the domain that you want to go to is. However, if we, for example, have our payload as the semicolon space ls, then the computer ends up seeing ping space semicolon space ls, which the semicolon there is running both the ping and the ls as separate commands. So it'll end up just pinging nothing and then running ls. So because it's additional commands, like before, it's the same thing where we can end up gaining info, crashing servers, escalate privileges, which is, well, what we want to do. But what?
But I have a small question. Can you show an example of like encode um of like SQL injection?
Yeah,
Like just like an example, just like can you show how that would look like? Just because I'm not really
yeah, uh,
like I don't really know that much of SQL, or nor do I I just don't know too much of that.
yeah. A lot of the
Nor do I
information,
really know too much C. Oh, okay, sorry.
yeah, a lot of the information I got from this helpful website. It's linked in the slides, so if you want, you can check that out. Um, Specifically, I think
Oh,
it's
okay, okay.
here. Yeah, yeah. So you can kind of look at it. I'm in this specific slide. I'm looking at SQL injection and command injection, as well as I think server side request forgery. But there's also stuff like other stuff like dictionary traversal, PHP. So there's other stuff to look at. Yeah, this is where I'm gonna be mostly getting my information. It's a very handy site I found. Yeah, so if you want, my explanations may not be clear, and I know I'm not the best presenter, so you can always look here if you want to understand. Also, there's obviously
Oh
YouTube
no,
videos.
no, fair enough. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough.
Uh,
Okay, thank you, yeah.
yeah, of course. Okay, and then there's server side template injection, which is also another form of injection. So the same kind of like visual here applies. Um, with template engines, you make web pages with template engines, and you have fixed templates, and then you have data, which is like not always consistent, right? So when you have user input, which is supposed to be the data, for example, let's say you have hello user, and then the user being like your username, that is like volatile data. But like the hello part is obviously like quite fixed, right? So if we get user data, right? So like your username, or you know the domain name, or whatever that may be, um, depending on the way that we pass our input, it could be considered additional templates rather than like data. So the same idea with command injection and SQL injection, where with SQL, your user input is additional SQL, and command injection, your input is additional commands. Template server side template injection is literally the same thing, in that your input is just additional templates rather than data. And that basically ends up with the same problem of the computer doing stuff that you don't want it to. So, and so besides injection, I'm going to get into one last thing, which is server side request forgery, which is basically so we have a website, and this website does an action for you, and you ask the website to do said action. Like for example, I think the example that I saw was there was a website that can take a picture of any website, like a screenshot, right? And one of the ways that we not get past it, but do stuff that we're not allowed to do. I really should have put a picture of this now that I think about it in hindsight, but whatever. What happens if you try to take a picture of the local domain, which you as a user should have no access to, but the server does because the server runs on the domain. And so you kind of get this kind of picture where you have your permissions as a user and what you're allowed to access, and then the website or the host's permissions being greater than yours. So you're able to ask the website or the host or the server to do an action that you're not allowed to do, but the actual server itself is allowed to do. And so what you can do is gain info, crash servers, or uh, escalate privileges that you're not allowed to do. Um, these are the links. So one of them's the one where I got information on the injection stuff. This is the code for the Pico stuff. If you guys haven't joined, and this is the link if you need that. Link is in the channel, or oh my god, I can't. Uh, give me a second. There's a link to the slide in the Discord channel. That's what I was trying to say. Also, there's an important announcement. Um, there's an opportunity to win a prize. Whoever participates weekly in homework, which is just solving one question in the Pico gym, will have an opportunity, well, and also places first in our cohort CTF competition, will get a free ticket to B-Sides Edmonton 2025. Yay. All right, I'm done. I
No,
can't do this anymore.
wait, sorry. Wait, what's
Yeah,
B-sides?
it's a wait, Andre, do you want to talk about that, or because I don't?
Yeah, sure. So B-Sides is like a kind of like a conference, but for like computer science slash cybersecurity. Well, it's cybersecurity focused, but it's a good opportunity to network, meet some people, and just learn more about the industry. So just by participating in the homework, and then at the end of the mentorship, we plan up like a little competition where where we will be challenging students to to create one of their own CTF, and whoever places first or who places first the fastest within that competition will win the free ticket.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so kind of like a
Nice to know.
giveaway.
Nice to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I just had a question on
Yeah, what's up, Amir?
um homework.
Yeah.
Uh, could you just show how we could like access the problems? Because I haven't been on Pico in a while, so or I
Okay,
haven't
yeah.
really used classrooms.
So I will send you a message of the link. Or no, the link should be in the thing, right? Correct? Correct, Michael?
This is a link to the general part where you can like here.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's on
Like
there.
from here
Perfect.
it
Thanks.
goes
Yeah.
to gym, but you can also, I don't know if it's, do you have to hold up? I think you have to log in first. And I don't
Yeah,
Yeah.
have,
you log in?
yeah. I can't log in
Okay.
right now because this isn't the
Okay.
right
Yeah.
account,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it
But
links you
then
to
when you
here.
press on, oh, yeah, sorry.
Like once you press this, you sign in, and then after you sign in, you can go to classrooms, and then put in this code. And then
Yeah.
Andre should
I
accept
mean,
as a member.
yeah. I'm already accepted in the classroom, but
Okay, okay.
I don't see any problems yet. Or have they
Oh,
not
yeah,
been?
we
Yeah.
will be posting those by the
Okay.
end of today. Like,
Okay.
because the
Okay.
way it works is we'll post the questions, and then you have about a week to just solve one, or like whatever, how much we post. And
Okay.
again, you just have to solve one.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And whichever for whichever one you solve, do a write up. Write ups are important.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have.
You,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
Does
it for
any,
me.
yeah, any more questions? Okay, sounds good. Yeah, thank you again, guys, for joining, and we hope to see more of you.
Bye bye.